Alright, well, we got a new powered up weapon and such. So, but yeah, I can absolutely imagine the Rainbow Sage saying that to Takumi there, Lancer. It was strange that the Rainbow Sage voiced the one line, not the other, and this is what happens when games let you upgrade everything but the legendary weapons. Is my Steel Sword literally gonna be better, the one that Guzma named? Like, we have the Noble Yato. 11 power? 17. This is basically like 50% stronger anyway. My goodness. We literally have the freaking MacGuffin that only the main character can wield. And it's literally a downgrade from being able to, from our other weapons that we can upgrade. Yep, that is absolutely what happens when games let you upgrade everything but the legendary weapons. So dumb. Anyway, it's a cool, like, lightsaber glowy sword. So that's cool, at least. Time to never use it, because this game's stupid and freaking, you know. You can upgrade everything but the legendary weapons, so freaking you can get, like, any generic sword to be better than that, even though it's, like, the super chosen one sword that's, like, all lit up and cool, and it's, like, worse than, like, any other weapon that can exist in this universe. Because good game design, you know? Because very good design. Let's see here. I'm gonna gamble some lapis lazuli out here is what we do. What's Takumi gonna have to say about that? Come on, random crit. Random crit, come on. Darn it, no random crit. Stole a bunch of extra damage, but no random crit. Big shame. Its only purpose is to look cool, basically. That's basically what it feels like. The purpose of the Noble Yato is. And even, like, other upgrades and, like, other playthroughs and, like, later on and whatnot. I guess it's not too spoilery to say that freaking, with the power of Takumi's Fujin Yumi, it powers up. It's probably not too spoilery to say that freaking, with the power of Ryoma's sword, it powers up, and the freaking, in other routes and stuff, there's Leo's bedtime story and Xander's, sword and stuff like that. Yeah, it gives some stats there. It looks cool, but its power sucks, is the thing. Freaking sucks. Yeah, I saw you out there. Yeah, I did. What's going on in the prison? What's going on in the prison? Well, if anyone can persuade you to join our group, it's gonna be Caden, right?
Sure thing.
Well,
This is too much fun.
yeah, the best Yato is definitely the Revelations one, but like, even that, I think the Revelations Yato has 16 power? A steel sword plus 4 is 17. So even getting a steel sword to plus 4 is like already stronger than the ultimate form of the MacGuffin. So, you know, it's pretty stupid. It's pretty dumb in my opinion. Let's keep on feeding the dragon beans as we do, because we get gold bars for it that we're hoarding like a freaking, like a hoarder, I guess. Look at that. Wow. Thanks, gold bar. Sweet. We were just talking about those. Sweet, sweet. Anyway, what supports do we have up now? A whole bunch of thingamabobs. Oh my good gracious. Yeah, so let's see all of these. We'll finally get to A with Izana. Izana, thanks again for a great feast. The bounty of Izuma was delicious. Hey, I'm glad you enjoyed it. We all did. In fact, I brought you a thank you present. Oh, is this a book? How kind of you. I have to apologize. This one's from my personal library, so I'm sorry if it's used. I thought you might like to read some Norian literature. How splendid! How to craft a flashbang in 5 easy steps. I look forward to reading it. I'm sure I'll learn a lot. Perhaps our next gathering could be a Norian theme night. Wow, that's an interesting idea. I want to be an excellent host to all of my guests, no matter where they're from. Izana, that's a nice thought, but the best way to do that isn't with gifts. Don't be silly, of course not. It's not just about favors. There's also the appetizers. Actually, it's more than that. I've learned a lot from you about being a host. Being a good host isn't what you give your guests, but how you make them feel. That's why everyone loves your parties. You make everyone feel special. That's very kind of you to say. You make a thoughtful host as well. In fact, you're very generous. See? You've already given me a gift. I learned that from you too. If you really want to take your party planning seriously, there's one more thing. Oh, what's that? You really do need a better outfit. Now, come on. Just give me one more try. The Grandmaster outfit is already like the coolest thing. But sure, I'll get it right this time. Stay there. I have just the thing. Oh dear, here we go again. Well, but yeah, it can look cool, but I mean, why use a sort of plot advancement when you can use Zangetsu from Bleach? which I still don't even know what the hell that is, quite frankly, but it is a thing that we have now, I guess. I finally bought it, yay! I wish I could say that already when it came to the RTX 3070, but I've been on a back order for that for over half a year now. But once we get that, it'll up the freaking quality of this stream, like, a bazillion fold, I guess. Well, it'll be better, though. It'll be better, though, and it'll open the option to, like, some other shenanigans. Kana. Papa, why did you go into town by yourself? Were you shopping for something? I'll take that as a yes. What did you buy? Was it the thing that you've been saving up for? Well, I know that sometimes you might want to keep things to yourself, so I won't force you to tell me what you bought. But I hope you will when you think the time is right, okay? Maybe I'm overreacting, but I feel like we need to be open with each other. I don't want us to drift apart. Do you understand? I'm sorry, Papa. I wasn't trying to make you sad. I just wanted to surprise you. Huh? What do you mean? Yeah, well, I wanted to give you this, Papa. Here, take it. If it's an RTX 3070, freaking, it's not though. A ring? Yep, I heard that people in royal families were sometimes called ring givers, so I thought it would be nice for you to receive a ring for once. Oh, Kana. I could buy a very expensive one, but I thought this one would look good on you. I wanted to tell you how grateful I am for everything you've done for me. I feel like I've already talked during this playthrough about how I don't think I've ever, like, had any jewelry before, apart from, like, very, very briefly a necklace for a couple of years, but I want it to be a surprise. I'm sorry. I mean, nowadays, like, I haven't ever had, like, jewelry or anything like that, but in terms of accessories, for the past, like, maybe not decade yet, but ever since about high school-ish, freaking scarf life is where it's at, in my opinion. Explains everything. Thank you, Kana. You worked really hard to buy me this ring, didn't you? I'm sorry for making you feel so bad and ruining your surprise. So you're not sad anymore? Just the opposite. You've made me so happy. I love you very much, Kana. Well, there's the good old, that's the main character's unit kind of thingamabob. But in all seriousness, if somebody got me like a freaking different scarf, I already have like one different scarf that I should wear more often. But if I had like more scarves, I would totally like switch around like what scarf I'm wearing depending on how I feel in the day and whatnot. Like this is the one that I'm most used to, so this is what I wear most of the time. But yeah, graphics chip shortage, yeah. But yeah, got pocket watches and a red lantern ring. I've never owned a pocket watch before. I used to have a really nice like watch. I think it's in this drawer. Yeah, it is in this drawer. And for a while, I had this like really nice watch that is a freaking hella old thing as well. I know that because I got this from my grandfather, and the reason that he gave it to me was he was looking through his old, like he was looking through some drawers and like sorting some stuff out, and this is the kind of watch that opens up. It kind of opens up to, you know, you can put like a picture in it or something. And as he was rummaging around, he found this watch and he opened it up and there was like a really, really old picture of me in there. And he already had like plenty of watches and whatnot. So he freaking was like, okay, there's his picture in there. Let's freaking make it his watch then. Hi, silly doggy. Hi. So there was an old picture of me in here. So he gave it to me and was like, yep, this is your watch now. And the thing about this watch is it's one of the ones that like runs when it's like got movement, like it's powered by movement and such. Like as you're moving around, that's the thing that gives it its energy to tick and whatnot. Like for example, me moving it around now has caused it to start ticking again, for example. So like it's one of those ones that you never have to worry about replacing the battery in or anything like that, because as long as you're moving, it's gonna always be ticking. So I was using this as my main watch for a while, and it was quite a nice watch and whatnot. But I think there was a day where I had like my accessories and like all my jackets and stuff like that on my like passenger seat in my car, and I got home and I grabbed my hoodie and I didn't realize that this watch was still on there, and so I picked up my hoodie and this thing just like shattered right onto the pavement, and so it was broken for a little while. It still has some scratches from then, but I had to go into like a specialty watch repair place, and I had to like send it out for like specialty repairs and stuff like that. Like, you look at it now and like on paper, it looks fine and whatnot. I got the whole casing replaced. They apparently had to like freaking go into it and take out like all the little pieces of like sapphire, I think it is the thingamabob in front. Like, it's not regular glass. I'm fairly certain it's sapphire to be like more scratch resistant and stuff. But they replaced it. There's a bunch of scratches on it now. They replaced it, got a bunch of stuff out, and it was seemingly working again for a time. But I think that there was still some permanent damage that was done to it, and and there might potentially still be like some really itty bitty specs in there, and it might have like screwed with stuff there. And it's also a freaking really old watch. I'm 22 now. The photo that was in here when it was found was from when I was probably like 4 or 5, something like that. So this watch is probably over a decade and a half old. So in addition to that damage, like, it can tick when I move it around, like it's ticking right now. But its internal battery freaking is awful. It does not have like any internal battery. I take this thing off to go have like a shower or something, and by the time I'm out again after like 10 minutes, it stopped ticking. Like, that's the internal battery of this thing now. The moment I take this thing off for, like, any reason, or even if I'm staying relatively still for a little while, it will stop ticking. So, like, it's moving now from me moving it around, so, like, it technically works, but I'm really sad that this, like, nice watch that I had isn't really a feasible thing to, like, really use anymore and stuff. So, like, I mean, as long as I keep it on throughout the day, if I really, like, for whatever reason need another watch to put on, I can in theory set this time and like put it on and use it for a day, but like it's really not the most reliable thing. So most of the time it just kind of like chills the hell out in my drawer nowadays. I got freaking one of the freaking fancy schmancy digital watches and stuff that like I nowadays like rely on all the time and whatnot. Like I get like a text message or an email, it'll show up on my watch. If I'm listening to music, I'll freaking tap on the watch to freaking go back to the next track, adjust the volume, or do whatever the heck. If I need to, like, it's been especially handy during COVID times for like less contact with things, because rather than having to, you know, make contact with the freaking machine to make payments and whatnot, I just like pay through my sleeve, and it's like, well, I guess I never had to like contact anything, so that's like being safe during COVID times and whatnot. So it's been handy during that. But as much as I do like relying on like an actual full-on digital watch, I'd be lying if I said I didn't miss wearing like that nice watch that freaking chills the hell out in my drawer nowadays, because it was a nice watch and I quite liked it. And I really, really wish I hadn't dropped it that one time. And hey, maybe it would still be like a more feasible thing to use if I hadn't dropped it that one time, but unfortunately because I did, I don't know if that's the reason why it's unreliable. It's also really old, so like of course the internal battery is going to like suck by now, but you know, I miss using that watch. It is a good watch. I miss using that one. But yeah, pocket watches are great. They break easily, but pulling one out of a jacket, to everyone's bewilderment, never gets old. And the classic movie watch design is what this was? A movie watch design? That? Or just like the pocket watches or whatnot. I have a bunch of stuff that I keep in this drawer. I have a bunch of stuff that I keep in both my drawers. I completely forgot I had a flashlight in here. It's not a very good flashlight. I keep a lot of like tools in there. Anyway, great. You have a watch that you never use. Watches are great. I love my watch. Cat watches just look cool compared to digital watches. That's cool. That's true. That's cool. Yeah, that's true. I do miss my like regular watch there. I could always freaking have one watch on either wrist. That's what I could do, but that's silly. let's not do that. Hey, Harmonia, what's your opinion on the socioeconomic impacts of what's your opinion on kings and queens? Kings and queens? What are we talking about here? Are you asking why I think of King Garen and King Sumeragi and Queen Makoto? Them too, but also about, I don't know, future kings. Future kings, eh? I'm a freaking Canadian that says eh, I guess. Oh, I should adjust the doogie cam. There we go. There we go. She is, whoops. She is quite relaxed. Well, no one knows how the war will end. But it's reasonable to think that Ryoma will be crowned King of Hoshido. What the heck? Throat. Probably, yeah. Which will make you the next in line for the throne after him. Because I'm his son, right? Well, yes, that's how succession works. Seems kind of old-fashioned to me. Shiro? Why should I be king just because I'm the old king's son? Do you not want the crown? It's not about what I want. I went most of my life not knowing I was a prince. And now that I do, I'm not sure I have what it takes. A king needs certain qualities. He's got to be a good leader. And I'm not that. Is that really what you think of yourself? I'd say you're quite capable of leadership. Sure, during training or when I'm putting together a fishing trip. But that's just a few people. Anyone can say, let's go fishing or time to train. Getting an entire country to follow me, like a king should do, is way out of my league. You might be right about that. I'm glad it's not just me. I like the idea of being a king my father could be proud of, a big leader type. I'd love to do that if I thought I could. But if there's anyone more qualified than me, I think they should rule instead. Whoops, I think someone's coming over to talk to us. It's not really a problem if they heard us, but I'd rather keep it quiet for now. We'll talk more about this later, Harmonia. Oh, sure. But yeah, Shio jumps into political this session. What, is he some kind of Twitter user? Freaking politics on Twitter are just like... Twitter politics are, in my opinion, kind of like a joke. Like, you would hope that with, like, online formats especially, where the world is more interconnected than it's ever been, that people of, like, different worldviews would be able to, like, easily meet and, like, talk with one another and be able to, like, develop their own views in, like, different ways after hearing other perspectives. Freaking, you look at Twitter and it's just everybody blowing their top off. Like, no civil discussion at all. And it's like, nobody can make progress towards, like, anything, really. So yeah, like, for example, I'm always cool with, like, well, I shouldn't say I'm always cool with discussing politics. Like, in real life, I'm always cool with discussing politics. On stream, I would be cool with discussing politics if I didn't worry that, like, you know, people might get offended and stuff. I do sometimes bring up politics on like, this channel. Like, there's not exactly a whole lot of opinions that I have that I assume a lot of people would, like, get all that offended by. Because I'm the kind of guy that's just, like, freaking make as many people happy as we can. You know, be accepting to everybody, have everybody live their best lives. Everything's great, you know, that's the kind of person I am. But, I mean, you know, sometimes, no matter what stance you have, someone's always gonna disagree with you. So even though I myself am freaking, in real life, open to discussing politics, I do it way less on stream because I'm always worried that someone's gonna come by and be like, oh my goodness, this dude said something like, I don't know, what would I say? That I support, like, green energy, or, like, something else that I'd say. Something that I could say that would probably offend some people is that I support nuclear energy. I think nuclear energy is really cool, but a lot of people would look at that and be like, oh my gosh, he supports nuclear energy? Time to, like, cancel him. And it's like, what the hell? What the heck? And you just want to avoid Twitter altogether. That's understandable. But yeah, like, I do enjoy having, you know, civil discussions with people about stuff and being able to, like, see other viewpoints and whatnot, because it's by seeing other viewpoints that you can, you know, get a better understanding of the world and other views out there and yada yada, all that fun stuff. But online, like, whether it be Twitter, whether it be a YouTube comment section, whether it be Discord, freaking, a lot of people are just like, oh my gosh, this person I've never heard about said, like, something like, I don't know, nuclear energy is great. Time to freaking cancel them. If anybody ever cancels me for, like, thinking that nuclear energy is cool and something that should be done more, then I guess that's what it is. For, like, the short version of why that is because, like, I think the best case scenario would be all energy being, like, completely green. Well, no energy is completely green, but all energy being, like, completely renewable is what I should say. I think that would be the ultimate end goal, but that would take, like, decades and decades to work towards. So I think the best, like, stance towards the energy situation is spend decades and decades working towards, like, the most renewable energy sources. But during that meantime, during that time of, like, doing that over the course of decades and decades, rely on nuclear in the meantime. Like, you've got energy sources like coal where it's just like, yep, let's just spew that waste into the atmosphere and potentially kill millions of people annually from freaking things like lung cancer and whatnot. I know that that's not, like, the only cause of that, but there are a lot of people that, like, get very sick from, like, the smog in the air is all I mean to say. Whereas with nuclear, freaking, that waste can break down safely in a safe enclosed environments in, like, dedicated facilities for it to break down rather than being pumped into the air that we all breathe. And a lot of people will even look at, like, nuclear facilities and be like, oh, then what's all that freaking smoke that's spewing from the top? And the answer to that question is it's steam. But so it's literally just water. But yeah, so my opinion. So there's me sharing a political opinion that some people could, like, potentially find offensive. I believe that the best course for energy is taking a long time to work towards, like, the most renewable sources of energy, and in the meantime use the source of energy that has waste that freaking, you know, is stuck in a safe place rather than energy sources like coal that is in the air that freaking everybody breathes. Like, or I guess fossil fuel based energy in general and whatnot. But yeah, fossil fuels are ruining the planet, so it'll definitely take an alternative. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, you're no fan of nuclear energy yourself, but I understand the benefit. Don't think it's worth the risk right now. And boom, look, we can be civil. I know that a lot of people are very scared of nuclear energy because of like the quote unquote risks, but more people, like, if you're talking about like risks being like something awful happens at the plant and it causes like, if like an explosion happens and it causes human deaths and yada yada, there are more human deaths caused annually by almost every other form of energy. Freaking water energy, for example, or hydro, no, what's the exact term for, I guess just hydro energy, I guess would be the exact term for things like dams and whatnot. That literally causes more deaths every year than nuclear, is the thing, if you, like, average things out. Like, there's that. And the big instances of stuff like that happen, like the really big ones, like Chernobyl happened because safety precautions, like certain precautions were not followed, and they were like, yeah, let's just kind of go through it anyway, and then freaking disaster fell. There's things like natural disasters with cases like Fukushima, and it's like, okay, freaking, what are you gonna do about that, I guess. But yeah, Chernobyl was because freaking procedures weren't followed as well as they should have been, and like a whole bunch more behind the story that I am not as familiar with as I should be. But, you know, there's way more deaths caused every year due to freaking every other energy source, even like the fully renewable energy sources, but especially fossil fuels. I've given several presentations on nuclear energy before in like several classes on like speaking. Like there was a German class, I think it was in high school. I think it was for like my kind of final in high school, for my Sprachdiplom, for me to be able to take school and work in Germany. I think that I had a presentation on nuclear energy. I don't think I have it anymore because that would be like with my old school email that isn't like a thing anymore. I know that last year there was a, interestingly enough, there was a class that I did on effective communication. And if I figure out exactly what drive it's located on, I might still have it around here somewhere. Because I gave a presentation on nuclear energy during that class as well. Yeah, as long as you're following proper safety precautions, it is mostly okay if it's in a very controlled environment. Like, a lot of people will look at it as like some reaction that's unstable and could go wrong at any second. Whereas under a controlled environment, it's like a perfectly safe kind of thingamabob. But that's the key, controlled environment. As long as you're paying proper attention. Where the heck is my thing? Where is my thing? What email did I put it under? Because I'm like curious to see if I can find this presentation. I won't be able to find the German one. I did have a German one a very long time ago. But is it this? No, it's not that. That was a presentation in a class that I hated. No, it might not be in that drive. Is it in this drive? Oh, is it in this drive? Oh, it's in this drive. It's in my freaking Acoustic Harmonia drive, interestingly enough. That I'm now realizing that maybe I shouldn't be showing here because it shows my full legal name. But I can delete that. Boop. So I checked like all my drives here. Yeah, my name's gone now. The last edit was apparently October last year. But I mean, so there have been presentations that I've given before. Like this was for a class on effective communication when I did like an open studies semester at other thingamabobs. I think I had like notes down here about, yeah, so I had like, I've literally given, I think I've, across like both university and a grade school, I've probably given either 3 or 4 nuclear energy presentations by now. Yeah, freaking fossil fuels, you hate to see it, I guess. Yeah, I guess, yeah, I had a whole bunch of, like, speaker notes and whatnot. And it was trying to, like, focus, it was one of those presentations that's, like, you know, have it be mostly visual and be mostly talking, and yada yada. I have a bit that's talking about thorium, where it's, like, if the research was actually properly done to it, it could be a much better energy source. That's basically the process of how nuclear energy works, which is way simpler than one would think. Like, it's still very basic, kind of, well, if you want to call nuclear energy basic. And then there's basically the bit where it's like, yep, freaking, you should go, like, all renewable when you can, and then yada yada, and then there's, like, all that fun stuff, and yada yada. I'm not gonna find the German one anymore. There was a time that I had like a full-on presentation in German on nuclear energy. Atomkraft. Atomkraft Energie is what it was. But yeah. So I absolutely believe in that, at least. But that's me. So what's going on over here anyway? So yeah, political opinions. So yeah, I like nuclear energy, at least. I think it's real cool and whatnot. But yeah, the fact that fossil fuels have gone on as long as they can. Because it's freaking cheap and easy, and there's so many people that are just like, yep, why go the hard way when we can just freaking make bank on doing something that is literally endangering everything on this planet. But those are my more radical kind of, I guess, when it comes to things like environmentalism and whatnot, and protecting the planet is where, like, I guess my more radical kind of political viewpoints would be. Anything else, I'm not really gonna be that radical in. So, like, I mean, I've had discussions before on this channel where it's like, I see a lot of people get, like, really, really heated on things like Twitter about, like, opinions on things. I think that, like, environmental impacts is probably, like, the only thing I could see myself getting, like, really heated about. I think everything else is just like, yep, just freaking, everybody can, as long as freaking, you're just letting everybody else, like, do their things, be happy, live their best lives. Freaking, it's A-O good with me, I guess. But, yeah, that's me, I guess. How did we get to this talk anyway? How did one thing lead to another and we got to talking about this, huh? Rajat, did you need something? Nope. I see. Well, would you mind not staring at me so intently? Why? I'm not making any noise or physically disturbing you. I've thought before about giving some of those presentations on my channel before. I'm pretty sure that presentation that I just showed, those slides, was actually like a video presentation that I did. So I think it's an unlisted video. I don't know if it's on like my personal Gmail thingamabob that it was uploaded to YouTube, or if it actually exists on my actual YouTube channel. But somewhere out there's on the YouTube, there's a freaking video of me giving a presentation on nuclear energy. Anyway, unrelated. But Kings and Queens led to politics and it went from there. Yeah, that's sounding about right, huh? Suppose that's true, but it just makes me a little uncomfortable. Seems every time I turn around, you're there, peeking at me. Don't worry about it. I'm just watching over you. But why? Because you're my soulmate, of course. What makes you say that? We barely know each other. Because you saved my life. Watching over you for the rest of yours is the least I can do. Actually, I think that's the most you can do, Rajat. And it's not necessary. Yes, I saved your life, but you would have done the same for me, as would anyone. Sure. Anyway, even if you hadn't saved my life, our fates were already intertwined. How so? You really don't remember? This is going to be fun. I'll be observing you even more carefully from now on. Oh, this went poorly. Well, but yeah, sometimes we get to some very interesting topics while here. Now I'm curious what channel that freaking thingamabob is on. I don't think I uploaded it to my main thingamabob. Because if I search up in the... Yeah, it's not. It's not on my main thing. It's just on a side thing then. But yeah, I guess the supports don't account for stuff like that. Is the thing we can get our first support here. Where did all this rain come from? Ah, a gazebo, finally, sweet relief. Greetings, Shigure. Seeking cover from the rain. Oh, I didn't see you there, Hazame. Yes, I am. And yourself. Not in so many words. I come here on rainy days to enjoy a cup of tea. It's quite soothing, watching the plant life dance in the rain. I see, that's very Hazame of you. Would you like some tea as well? I have an extra cup. May I? Of course. Here you are. Thank you. Ah, warm tea is so relaxing. It's like drinking a loved one's embrace. And that's a funny way of putting it, but I suppose you're not wrong. It is. By the way, what is it that you're holding? Oh, it is a plate of pickles I made. I just finished brining this morning. You made them yourself. I didn't know you could do that. Oh yes, they are my favorite snack. I've been making them for a long time. Would you like to try one? I would. I haven't tried this kind of pickle before. Munch, munch. Oh, this is so good. You really think so? Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. No, thank you. Ah, this has turned out to be a pleasant afternoon, hasn't it? May I impose on you again the next time it rains? Yes, of course. I'd be delighted if you did. Neat. Every time you hear the word gazebo, you think of the D&D story of the guy who didn't know what a gazebo was and thought it was a monster. Wait, what? Wait, What? This was a thing? You might have told me this before and I forgot it, maybe. Like, this sounds like something that you probably told me before and I forgot, but I do not recall this at all. The hell? What? Selkie, just the girl I was looking for. What's up, Midori? I just finished my new... Oh no, don't tell me you've already recovered from that cold. Yep, I feel fantastic. I hit the hay early and woke up late, and by that time I was all better. Oh, is that bad? Well, no. I mean, I did make a special trip deep into the forest to find the right herbs, and I did spend half the night devising the right balance to make them palatable. But if you're over your cold, I guess none of that matters now. Hooray! Oh gosh, sorry, Midori. No, I'm the one who should apologize for being disappointed that you're well. Hey, no worries. I totally get where you're coming from. Well, but how about some preventative medicine, eh? Huh? Yes, I'm a genius. I just need to mix a little of this and behold. I'm sorry, but that's making me gag from all the way over here. So even the tiniest hint of bitterness means you won't drink something? Yep, pretty much. Maybe if it tasted like candy, but not if it smells like a sewer. Well, then that's what I'll make for you. A filter as sweet as candy. I've never... Freaking filter? I've actually never seen that word before. I swear, Fire Emblem Fates teach me all kinds of new words. Filter. So I guess it's the type of medicine there. I guess I'll do like meaning because it just brought up like a bunch of filters. A drink that's supposed to arouse love and the desire for a particular person in the drinker. A love potion. But I guess they just use it interchangeably as like a word for potion, I guess? How is this pronounced? Tell me, Google.
Filter.
Wow, you want to do that a little bit less aggressive? Filter.
Filter.
Filter. Fine. Filter. Okay. Maybe hail and hearty now, but who knows when the next cold may strike. I'd be devastated if the smell of my warding medicine kept it from doing its job. So I'll reformulate it to be so sweet even you'll gulp it down happily. Midori, you're the best friend anyone could have. I shouldn't be turning up my nose when you're trying so hard to help. Tell you what, to make it up to you, I'll drink down whatever medicine you give me. Yay. In that case, I think we should start with some herbal tea tasting. Herbal tea? Yes, hang on while I brew some with my special technique. It won't take long. Hang on a minute. What are you trying to pull? I agree to taste any medicine. Oh, this is the first step, though. We need to experiment with lots of flavors to find the one that you like. Armed with the data, I can ensure my medicine has the right flavoring for you. Fine, I'll drink your tea. I just have to drink it, right? Not pour it up my nose or bathe in it or anything. No, but you're giving me some wonderful ideas. Well, and welcome back, Hawks. PC was acting up and pretty much crashed. Jeez. Basically, the dungeon master was like, you see a gazebo, and the player didn't know what it was, and started like shooting arrows at it, thinking it was a monster. Well, that's certainly something. That is certainly something. I guess that's all the supports here for now. We can probably do some new stuff. Upgrade the mess hall and the lottery shop. I'm looking forward to when we can finally upgrade like the staff store and yada yada. Or the rod store so that we can get like more seals and whatnot. That is what I am most looking forward to here, quite frankly.
Oh, thanks for coming in.
Oh my goodness. Gazebo, Gazebo and nuclear energy. That's gonna be the freaking title of this one, isn't it? Or something. Sometimes I get to rambling in these bits here, and I can't, and by the time that I wind up cutting up into parts later, I completely forget like what happened where. But maybe this part is gonna be titled nuclear energy, and I guess we can't invite Ally right now. I guess maybe this one will be titled like nuclear energy and gazebos and gazebo monsters. I don't know. But yeah, Midori, maybe don't give her a filter because you think that's a crime. Yeah, wasn't that the whole thing going on with like Soleil's supports or something? No, it was some other potion thing that was like something that had to be heavily censored. I think I remembered what Soleil's freaking thing was in Japan again. And now I don't want to freaking say it because I know that it's something that freaking a lot of people got like royally pissed about. And that's why they removed it before international releases. But, gazebo nukes? Freaking, I guess with nuclear facilities, you can technically make nukes and stuff. If proper research is done on thorium energy to actually be able to use that as an energy source, it would be, I believe, some ridiculous amount of times more energy than uranium, all while making like much safer nuclear waste that breaks down in hundreds of years rather than thousands of years. And you can't really make weapons out of thorium, but rather than people taking the time to like do proper research on being able to actually use thorium as an energy source, they're just like, nah, let's just stick with the cheap and easy thing, fossil fuels, rather than freaking researching nuclear stuff. Because the thing about nuclear energy is it's still very, very old technology. Like, there was the whole phase when nuclear was brand new of everybody being like, whoa, this is like the cool new thing that we need to like make mainstream and like the big new energy source. And then freaking stuff started happening like Chernobyl and other stuff, and people started being like, oh my goodness, this is literally the worst thing to ever exist. We need to stop like innovating in that and stop making new stuff with that. So like almost all the reactors that are out there are freaking old technology. Like nuclear innovation stopped like several decades ago, like major nuclear innovation. So almost all of the nuclear technology that's used nowadays is still like old tech, just because like innovation kind of stopped a good while back. And you know, if proper research, like it's not, yeah, thorium is cool. It's a, I'm pretty sure it's just a regular element. Like it's not a compound or anything. I never took chemistry classes, so I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure thorium is just, you know, a pure element and whatnot. And there is plenty of thorium about. It's not like it's a super rare thing. There are, I think from the last time I looked into it, that like in terms of the universe, thorium is like a pretty rare thing in the universe, but here on Earth we actually have like a decent bit of it, if I recall. We actually have like quite a decent bit of thorium here. We have quite a decent bit of uranium here as well. But yeah, nuclear innovation kind of stopped a while back. So like the idea of being able to use thorium as like a replacement for uranium is kind of a theoretical thing. I think that there might be some actual testing facilities like in the world. I think, I'm not 100% sure. It's been a long time since I've properly looked into this kind of thing. But it's mostly like theoretical stuff where it's like, this could maybe work like that. And there's nobody that wants to like, you know, go to the effort of doing the expensive thing of trying to innovate rather than sticking with the cheap and easy thing that they can of like other source of energy. But if proper research was done into like flushing out thorium energy, that could be hype as heck. Because way more energy than uranium, way safer waste, and no nuclear weapons. Like, I'm fairly certain that from what, like, don't quote me on this, I'm no expert. It's been a while since I've looked into this stuff, but from what I recall, from what research shows, it seems very much like thorium is a kind of thing where it's like, you can get it to, you know, make energy and whatnot and control environments, but you're not gonna be able to get it to create an unstable reaction that's gonna make some big boom, you know? Like, it's way more chill and stuff, I guess. Freaking, again, I'm no expert, but if proper research is done into thorium, it'd be hella cool. But yeah, thorium doesn't just sound cool, it does a lot of cool stuff. It really does. It really does, quite frankly. Also, I think that before we continue with the story, I might just want to get a little bit of weapon level, is the thing that I'm now realizing is something I probably should have done off camera, and then it completely evaded my thoughts, I guess. And whatnot. So, hold on here. Like, I just want to have Kaldori wielding, like, some iron stuff, and, like, Mitama's gonna need some shiz, too. Where's Mitama at? There you are. Because you're at, like, E in those. I just want to get people out of E's. I mean, freaking Midori could technically make some progress on that front as well, but I'm just gonna focus on these ones. Thorium, the chill element, the chill one. Absolutely. Does Mitama want to build up a bond with somebody here? Let's see here. So, Mitama wants to build a bond with Kana, which he's already done, and Dwyer, which he's also already done. So, Mitama doesn't actually need to build a bond with anybody, so may as well be my unit. Is the thing. And then, meanwhile, let's see here. And then there's Kaldori that wanted to build a bond with Sophie, and I'm pretty sure they're still working on that, so we can go ahead and bring Sophie along like that. I don't think we're gonna need to replicate, and then we can have like a little pit stop kind of healy bit at the back here. I just want to freaking take out a bunch of the easy dudes and get out of E with these weapons is all I want to do. Is all I really want to do here, quite frankly. May as well switch here to start with some more movement and such. I have 120 hours in this Birthright file. That is so silly. That is so silly, isn't it? But yeah, ironic how the element named for a god that's known for his hot bloodness is the chill one. Yeah, it is kind of strange, isn't it? Feel comfortable with thorium than you do with the rain, mostly because we don't have thorium bombs. Yeah, and it seems like the kind of thing that probably can't exist Like, again, it's not like a super duper research thing. We don't exactly have a massive ton of thorium reactors out there. We might not have any thorium reactors in the world. If we do, it's just a couple experimental places. But that's sketchy sketch. That's sketchy sketchy sketchers right there, isn't it? My goodness. No switcheroo here. But yeah, there probably can't be thorium weapons, most likely. So yeah, we're just gonna get out of like weapon rank E hail, essentially, is all we're doing here. Is my plan. Let's just get out of there. Get out of town. Like, Caldori should be able to do it in, like, no time at all. I'm a little bit more concerned about Mitama. Is who I'm more concerned about. I guess probably gonna be plenty of green ones anyway to, whittle down and whatnot. I mean, like, boopity bop. And then we can say... Sure, it'll be fine. There we go. So you're out of there now. Yeah, you've already built up a whole bunch of bond with both them nerds. So skip the thing. Cool. Cool, man. So now Caldori can start using that stuff. I'm gonna want Mitama to be able to use some better stuff there. Is the case. Whoops, I actually meant to heal. Is what I actually meant to do. But I mean, that works too. So now we can use iron. Now we can finally use iron. Look at that. Bada bing, bada boom. Isn't it sweet? Isn't it schnice? So Caldori's probably gotten good enough for now because you can start using iron things. I mean, I wouldn't mind being able to give you a steel sword as well, but might be a little bit out of the cards for now. Yeah, let's just get you to D with that so that you can proc some spicy stuff. I wouldn't mind getting you to D with swords as well, if it's at all possible. I mean, we want to pass up the experience though. Screw it, we're getting a little bit of experience while we're here because it's too tempting. Screw it, I guess. Yeah, go after Mitama. Go after Mitama, how about? Sweet. Yeah. And we can do that. We can go over and heal you up and whatnot. So you've already got Essence Stabs, which is Spicy Spice. Kind of still at E and like working on it and whatnot. Yeah, so bit by bit, I wouldn't mind you being able to proc some skills and crits and fun stuff, Midori. Mitama, sorry, my goodness. Getting all my characters mixed up. My goodness gracious. Yep, so do the thing. Do the thing that you do. Am I gonna have to go into this again, or is this going to be enough to get our thing up there? Will being surrounded by 3 of them be a-okay? I sure hope so. Take a random pot shot at you, I suppose. What are we gonna get in this level up? Well, I preferred something like defense going up so that, oh, that's good. That's pretty darn good there. It is definitely nice. Yeah, you need staff experience anyway, Kana. Is the thing. So, I mean... yeah, may as well give it to you on the side. You know, his portrait makes her look like she's on her phone all the time. That's really what it looks like. Like, it's supposed to be them freaking cards that she writes her poetry on or whatever the hell. Little slips. But it literally just looks like she's on her phone. Is what's going on here. Freaking millennials always on their phones. Whoops, I can be doing things here. I may as well. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to go into here one more time. I think is what's happening here. One more time! And then we'll get Mitama able to use some regular stuff, you know. He's on Twitter right now arguing about the ethics of nuclear gazebos. Is that gonna wind up being in the title? Nuclear gazebos? My goodness. It might well be. So one more time. We'll just hop on in with Mitama, I guess. Is what we do. I mean, the one that could be healing her for like a pit stop kind of thing could always be her dear old dad. Right? What class is Azame in right now? Never mind. Isn't her mother Felicia? Yeah, we can get that up there then, I guess. Wait, unless I can already support with... Okay, who else would Mitama maybe like to support with? Like, you don't necessarily need to support with anybody else. Rajat, maybe? Fun. Sure. Sure. Sounds a-okay to me. Okay. Nuclear gazebos on Twitch chat of us. Let's see here. So yeah, we can definitely get out of the E rank hail here in a hot second. Wow, literally just like that. Literally just like that, it seems. Cool. Cool, cool. Occasionally save state there, like that. So... I will try briefly getting some sword experience and whatnot as well. Just so that you can start using things there. Oh yeah, you had extra brass katanas in your inventory as like a reminder to myself to like forge that stuff up. And then I didn't even remember. Sounds like something I'd do. It's gonna miss, right? Sweet, it missed. Sweet, it actually did. That sounds so like something I'd do. Put extra weapons in the inventory there as a reminder to forge, and then I don't even remember to forge. Sounds about right. Perhaps we should make a homebrew D&D monster that's a nuclear gazebo. That's what we need. That's what we need to see out there in the world. Is it gonna miss? Good. Good, good. Do it. Welp. Well. Let's see here. We want mine sword experience. Where we can get it. Most certainly would not mind it. Okay, now might be the time for a tactical retreat. That's what I'm thinking here. I mean, we go like there. We can then do this and then be a-okay, right? I hope. Yeah, or just a regular gazebo with 20 levels in some kind of homebrew radiation class? Oh. Gosh darn it. So you're like extra mean. Guess I'm just out of here. Guess maybe that's enough Mitama for this level. Follow Gazebo edition. No. Oh, noes. Yeah, if you're pulling back there, then that might be all the action Mitama is able to get. Actually, we'll see if now she can get in there and things can happen without her dying, maybe. Okay, things happened without her dying. Oh, and things should be able to continue to happen without dying, because we can take out one of them and then, like, use the dual guard gauge to take out the freaking other on enemy phase, right? Like, I'm interpreting this right? Follow Gazebo edition, it just works. It just works. It just works. Have you seen the song It Just Works? I have. I actually saw it for the first time, like, a couple of weeks ago. And that was the first time I'd ever seen it, and I was like, wow. That's certainly something, isn't it? Yeah, I love that you can give monsters in D&D class levels everyone's gangs until a goblin pulls out a flamethrower because he's also an artificer? I don't think I've ever seen the word artificer before. That's another thing that I've never heard about before. I swear, whenever I'm streaming Fire Emblem Fates that I'm constantly hearing about things that I've never heard of before, is what it very much feels like. Should I do one more just to freaking get Mitama out of the E rank for swords as well? I'm very tempted. I'm very tempted just so that nobody in the child units have to deal with E rank anything except for Kana with like E rank and stabs and whatnot. That could be the one exception, I guess.
Hey, look around a while.
Yeah, I will look around a while. No, you're gonna do that because I did this as a reminder to myself and then I didn't even do it. Was the thing. So I mean, sure, let's just make extra one of those and then shove it in the convoy because there's probably going to be less and less units that freaking need to accommodate for E rank and that kind of thing anyway. So now you can finally start using one of those. How do I have any? Do I not have any other like forged up tiger spirits? Wow, let's make you one, I guess. Let's make you one in preparation for when you actually get to wield it.
Welcome, welcome.
Is what we'll do. Sure. Oh, and they're on sale. Sweet. Let's get like 8. 16. Bam. It's like a good plan to me. Artificer is a magical engineer. Huh. Basically, inventors that can make magic items and cast spells through the gadgets they make. Huh. This is the first that I've heard of them. I can go down like this. Let's just see here. I should have enough materials to make some stuff here. Because turns out I need another tiger spirit. As it would seem. So let's make another spicy one. Is what we shall do. Should have plenty of amber to be doing this for a bit. Got a little bit of rhythm going here now. Okay. Perfect. Whoops. No. Not quite like that. Also, didn't I have like 2 flame shurikens on Dwyer, I think? I'm fairly certain. So now we can do this. There goes all my amber, basically. Yeah, we can make you a +4, Mitama. Sounds like a great idea. Whoops, no, I actually do want to go back in. Another great idea you had was a monster who has levels in Druid and Monk, so as a desperation move, they turn into a bear and start punching people in the face. Well then. That's certainly something, isn't it? Yeah. Sure, make a extra flame shuriken. There you go. There you go. There you go, have fun. Let's see here. And then Mitama can actually get a spicy spice for when she's ready to wield it. She won't be ready to wield it for a little bit, but for when the day comes that she is ready to wield the spicy spice, it will be there at the ready, you know? There aren't magical swords, are there? There's no 11 sword. There probably is 11 sword, but it's probably a conquest thing. Most likely. When I saw practice katana light and easy to use, I could only think of like Pokemon's freaking shorts. They're comfy and easy to wear. Is for whatever reason what I thought of when I saw practice katana. Honestly. So there's a little bit of a peek into, I guess, my mindset. Now I'm freaking gonna need amber up the yin yang for a while. Now I'm going to need like amber for a good while. So I mean, Kyle is a crit monster in this playthrough. I don't know what to tell you about Kyle. He freaking crits everything. Is the thing. So I mean, nothing stands a chance against him. Gonna just immediately crit again. Maybe. No immediate crit this time. 11 sword and the bow version of 11 sword or conquest and revelations. Well, no crit. Did I say too much about Kyle? Well, here's Luna. There's Luna at least. Still no crit though. So I mean, this 11 sword actually has both 1 range and 2 range animation. This game, unlike Awakening, where there's only the 2 range animation. Yeah, so you didn't even get to like post up Smackaroo or whatnot. As you get as a lucky drop in Birthright. Or I guess you could always like visit a castle in a. If I was playing on my physical 3DS right now instead of Emulator, we could always visit like a Nor castle and buy it from a armory there. The only things that I've really tried to buy at other castles have been seals. And I've bought a lot of seals at other castles off camera throughout this playthrough. So I mean, you know. Ha! Cha! It's Sonic! Way best cool. I just imagine like right in the middle of, you know, his freaking rapid voice lines. They're just being a Sonic snuck in there somewhere. Yeah, we sealed the deal. Exactly. That's what's going on. We're giving you more beans, Lilith, as we do. We produce beans around here, so that's what you get. Because that's the thing that we have the most easy access to and whatnot. Because I'm full on like a bunch of materials, we could always go to the accessory shop and get a bunch of stuff from there. But like, not really that big of a deal. Like, I like this pauldron that I have and whatnot, but everything else doesn't really concern me a whole lot, you know? Quite frankly. Alright, we can build a bond with Midori, how about? Because it's basically just the kiddo units I need to build a bond with now. We're basically gonna max out, like, bonds with everybody in this playthrough. With my unit, with everybody that he can. Apart from, like, S supports, that is. But, yeah. Okay, I give mercy, I'll fight for you. Just make him stop talking about his Sonic OCs, imagine. I can just see it. Oh, man. We're going to... Oh, we have some supports here. Oh, freaking Mitama can just, like, support with everybody. So let's get some conversations going. Mitama, you in there? It's just now occurred to me I hopped into boot camp again. Being like, oh, I guess Mitama can't do that support right now when, I could have literally just seen the conversation and then built it up some more again. She's not coming out, but I know I heard her. I have nothing to say. I will never come outside, away from my bed. Oh, so you are in there. Perfect. Hey, were you not listening? I told you I will never come outside. I know. That's why I came in. Oh, right. So, what did you want? Nothing in particular. I just wanted to come chat with you is all. If you want to get off that phone for like 5 seconds. Always locked up in your room. I figured you must get lonely sometimes. I know I was. You were? Did you used to lock yourself away as well? Not quite. Unlike you, I wasn't exactly allowed to leave. Or is there something keeping you in that I'm not aware of? To be all alone, cloistered from the fallen world, it is a blessing. There's nothing compelling me to remain. I simply enjoy it. I figured as much. So, what do you spend all your time doing inside? As you no doubt have guessed, I read and write poems, haiku in particular. Haiku? It is a poetic form belonging to the Hashidan literary tradition. Other times, I'll go on my cell phone here and go to Twitter and get hella fired up about politics and nuclear energy. The first line contains 5 syllables, the second 7, the third 5 again. Haikus are stupid. It lends itself to brevity and juxtaposition of striking images. 575, huh? Maybe I can come up with one. Sweet Mitama loves to read and write haiku, a poetic form. How was that? Used 4 syllables in the first line. Oh, you're right. Okay, let me try again. Courage and genius are less important in war, I think, than weapons and foodstuffs. How's that? I am concerned for you. Do you not know how to count? The syllables were all wrong, and pointlessly so. You could have removed the I think and changed foodstuffs to food. I do not understand how one could possibly be so inept. Thank goodness our victory does not depend upon your poetic skills. Sorry, this stuff is harder than I thought, but I won't give up. Slim expectations. A heavy sigh escapes me. Little more to say. I will await your improvement with few to no expectations. Good day. Wait. But yeah, also the Dreadfire model has some fur on the back that looks like a tail. Yeah, it's like I don't know what exactly is going on with the Dreadfighter model, but that's a thing in like the actual like model, like 3D model here as well. It's like a freaking, it's like a tail is hanging on by a chain is what it is. Kinda. It's weird. So it's like, I don't think that Dreadfighters have like tails, but maybe it's not, maybe it doesn't have anything to do with that chain, but it kind of looks like it's attached by that like chain around the waist, doesn't it? That's at least what I sort of think that it is in a way, but I mean. My Kaldori, isn't it like you to sigh like that? Mitama, you must think me inhuman. I have melancholy moods just like everyone else. Please, I meant no offense, only that you are usually more cheerful. What's wrong? Oh, nothing really. I was just reflecting on a story I read. Story? Can mere prose truly plant such sorrow in your heart? Unbelievable. It was a beautiful tale about unrequited love. Unrequited? I don't know how that's pronounced. Like, I've seen that word before. It's not like that one's completely new to me, but I straight up don't know how it's pronounced. Perhaps it's not the highest literary quality, but I could relate so well. I knew exactly how the heroine felt. It hurt to read. It's hard, never falling in love with someone who returns your feelings. I see, but do you know that that is not an uncommon sentiment, correct? I think something like that, like it has happened innumerable times to innumerable people. What, really? How would you know this? Would it be true? Am I not so alone as I thought? I literally took a class on the study of loneliness this past semester. Like, it's currently Saturday, technically Sunday, because it's after midnight. I literally had my final for this class on Wednesday. So it hasn't even been a week since I freaking finished this class. And it's been an interesting class. I don't know if it was quite what I expected. I don't know what I expected, quite frankly, but it was intriguing. It was an intriguing class is what I'll say. I don't know about most people, but I'm sure it is true of the great poets. Unreturned passions, turned then into poetry, love the most of all. I have many anthologies that address this very theme. Really? I had no idea. Oh yes, it is one of the most popular subjects in poetry, especially older poetry. Perhaps you should write. Take up the pen, Kaldori. Give form to your pain. It certainly sounds intriguing, but I wouldn't know where to start. I can show you some of my anthologies. We could read them together. Would you mind? Not at all. I'm always eager to help fresh converts into the priesthood of poetry. And I accept your most gracious offer. I cannot wait to read them. Thank you, Mitama. Anytime, my friend. In fact, for this class, for like a bonus assignment, we had to do like a creative work that was basically like make what you want. And I made like a, I don't think I've mentioned this on this channel before. I don't think I was planning on mentioning it at all. I made like a short, like, it was like 5 or 7 minutes, something like that video that was basically talking about how I feel like the past few years of doing this channel has, you know, affected my kind of mental state when it comes to how I feel about like social connections and stuff. And it's an unlisted video, so it's not like something that anyone can find, but it technically exists out there. Apart from with my professor, I don't think I've shared it with anybody. Maybe one day. We'll see. But I do think that, like, the past few years of doing stuff on this channel has been, like, it's had some ups and downs, mostly ups, I'd say, of, you know, how I feel about, like, social connections and whatnot. It's a complicated subject that I've honestly thought about maybe putting together, like, I've started doing podcasts on the channel as of recently. That's a new playlist that I have going as of, like, super recently. That's something that I might take, like, a dedicated session to, like, talk about one day. But today's not that day. Today's not that day. Today's the day that we talk about nuclear energy and gazebos. That topic's gonna have to wait until another day, I think. In my room because I need to call this random guy dumb as and bad at video games for disliking weapon durability as a game mechanic. Sounds about right. This is a haiku. It's the bestest one around. Microwave oven. Beautiful haiku. This should be enough. Rajat, why are you carrying so much food? Have you started working in the kitchen? Of course not. I just need all this food for certain reasons. Eating rice all day makes you bloated and weary. What are you thinking? Don't worry. I'm not going to eat all of this at once. I'm going to lock myself in my room for a month to work in peace. This will need to sustain me the entire time. That sounds like me when I'm preparing for like a 24-hour charity stream. Whenever I do 24-hour charity streams on this channel, I like cram my drawer with like granola bars and stuff. So, oh, a secret project. What is it? Go and shut the door. Work hard for a week or two. Build a treasure chest. What are you talking about? Oh, nothing. It's just I wish I could do the same. Steal away to my chambers for hours on end, working on projects. Also, something that I was thinking about mentioning when it happened, and like I've been sitting here for like the past half a minute thinking like, do I mention it, do I not? I sometimes stretch out like that, and my freaking joints crack, especially my elbows, and I think my microphone picks it up. I've listened back to some of my VODs, and I hear like the microphone pick up the cracking. I'm like, what the hell? Should I just like mute my microphone every time before I stretch out? Because that's like hella annoying, but it would prevent, you know, me being an annoyance to others by freaking that, I guess. But you know, there's that. Steal away to my chambers for hours on end, working on projects. That's me with like editing projects on this channel, or like streaming for saying a long times. I just sleep and write poetry. I must keep a journal of this secret project. I see. I'll tell you what. Next time we meet, I'll have a surprise for you. Truly? What is it? Well, I wouldn't be surprised if I told you, would it? Let's just say it would be helpful if you were going to spend lots of time alone. Then I shall await it eagerly. As you should. Haikus are wacky. This one is an example. Refrigerator. Well. Oh, we have the next thingamabob here, which is nice. Sophie. Kaldori. Remember our chat about the hair care the other day? I brought those styling tools I mentioned so you could see. Whoa, all of these are for styling your hair? That's right. I just brush mine. That's all I do. This is my favorite comb. Its teeth are coated in camellia oil? The hell is camellia? I'm googling this again now. Camellia. A plant. Camellia is a genus of flowering plants in the family. What the hell? Thiaceae? They are found in eastern and southern Asia, from the Himalayas east to Japan and Indonesia. There are 100 to 300 described species, with some controversy over the exact number. There are also around 3,000 hybrids, and they're like pink-looking things, according to these images here. Huh. Well, Camellia sounds like the name of a Final Fantasy character. I've never played a Final Fantasy game, but it sounds like it would be. So every time you comb your hair, it adds glossiness and sheen. Nice! And here are some products you can apply. This one you wash out, and this one you have to leave in. I always use both. So much stuff. This bottle here is styling oil tailored perfectly to my hair. I mix it myself. What? That's incredible. You really are a genius. Oh, not at all. Anyone could do this if they put their mind to it. Your turn, Sophie. Tell me how you get your hair looking that way. Well, I haven't done anything as fancy as mixing my own hair goop, but I like to wash my hair with this soap that has a nice herbal scent. I've never heard of such a soap, but now that you mention it, I do smell a faintly pleasant fragrance in your hair. Yeah, I have this farmer friend who hooks me up with her soap. It's a funny story. I met her when Abel trampled some of her fields. Sophie, can I ask a favor? You want some of that soap, huh? Yes, please. Okay, I'll ask for a little extra next time. And in exchange, you think I could have a little bit of whatever you're putting in your hair? Of course. Well, I can't imagine, like, doing anything extra to my hair. And like I've probably had this conversation literally earlier this playthrough about like I see countless guys out there that like have short hair and like gel up their hair and are like, I'm gonna make the top of my head look like a weird flat table, and I just don't get it. But that's me. That might just be what I need to turn my tangled hair into smooth locks of yours. For myself, I'm hoping that your soap will make my hair smell as nice as yours does. This is so exciting. Thanks, Sophie. Don't forget the soap we can trade. Sure thing. Like, I feel like it was in my later years of high school that it was like basically every guy that was there you could expect to have. I don't want to spend this stuff right now. You could expect to have, you know, short hair and have some sort of gel up, whether it be like, let's go for a flat top or let's just have like spikies in the front. And I never understood it. It's just like, why? Like, I can sort of get people trying to like, you know, look their best and like put themselves out there and stuff, I guess. But like, I don't understand what, I'm gonna trigger people by saying this, but I don't get why people think that stuff like that looks good, in my opinion. Like, I just don't get it. Like, what do you think people are gonna do? Look at you and be like, oh my goodness, his hair's so spiky. He's so cool. You know, like, I don't get it. I'm gonna offend people by saying that. I mean, we were talking earlier this session about how, like, I usually don't talk about, like, political things on this channel because I worry about offending people. I probably am, like, at way greater risk of offending people through saying stuff like that than I am about freaking any political opinion that I have. Probably. I would not be surprised if I royally tick somebody off. Also, I don't know why I didn't think about using a Zama there earlier. We're just gonna get to freaking D and swords and then be on our merry way. Yeah, don't do anything about your hair, just washing this out. I have it long because you like long hair. Yep, that's what's going on here. Sometimes I tie it back and that's just so that it like stays on my face, you know? I started tying, I don't know if I ever mentioned this on stream, but the reason that I started tying it back was because of Taekwondo. Like, as my hair started getting longer and longer, it was harder and harder to see while I was training. And I was thinking about like a few different like potential solutions for a while. Like, there was a brief time I started wearing a headband and like trying that out and whatnot. But I didn't quite like the headband, and, you know, the headband would get sweaty and stuff, and I was like, let's maybe not do that. And then, you know, I really, like, this was a good while back before my hair started getting that long. Like, this was probably, when was this? But this was a while back. But I had some suggestions to put my hair into a ponytail. And for a long time, I really didn't want to do that because I was like, ew, gross. Freaking ponytail's like a girl thing. Ew, I'm not gonna be that one guy that looks like a girl, even though I was freaking misgendered all the time, like growing up anyway, so it's not like it would have made any difference. But then I started doing it and I was like, this is great. Now I put my hair in a ponytail all the time. I love it. I love being able to tie my hair back. I usually, my hair ties are like on the table right now, but I usually will keep them on my right wrist, just like that. So anytime I want to tie my hair back, I'll just like put it back and then I tie it back and then it's just like, bam, hair's on my face, you know? Easy peasy. And it's great. And now I don't really understand like the old me's perspective of thinking that that's like an inherently feminine kind of thing. Like, after using it for like years now myself, it's like, yeah, this is freaking not exactly a thing either way in terms of like, you know, that kind of thing, where Bob. I mean, like, having long hair, it flows dramatically in the wind. Whenever it's windy here, it just freaking gets in my face and whatnot. But I mean, sure, let's boopity bop, and then maybe we'll get over this way. But yeah, whenever I need to get my hair in my face, if I'm not using my hat and like headphones and stuff like this, like, I don't need to worry about getting my face here. But I will, I'll freaking tie it back and whatnot, and I think that's great. And I really don't understand why old me was so averted to the idea. Or I guess you could say young me. The old me that was young me. You know, if that makes sense. Did I get to weapon level D? I wasn't paying attention. Sweet. Poogers. That's pretty nice. But yeah, I feel like so many things should just like not have like a quote unquote like norm for it's like, this gender should be the thing that's supposed to do that, and this one should be the thing that does that, and there's like no doing like the opposite and stuff like that. Like, for example, guys having long hair. Like, a lot of people will look at guys having long hair and be like, yep, that's... If a guy has long hair, it just means that he doesn't care enough to, like, take care of his hair. Whereas it's like, I take such good care of my hair. I'm always making sure that my hair is freaking doing well for itself. And it's a lot of work to freaking deal with this much hair. But I love it. And stuff, you know? Like, tropes like, guys aren't allowed to have long hair, girls aren't allowed to have short hair, stuff like that. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get why freaking people feel that way. And I've heard stories about, like, some schools before. Like, some elementary schools. I don't think in Canada. I think that this was somewhere in the States, probably. But I've heard stories before about, like, some students literally being denied, you know, their education because the teachers are like, yep, freaking go cut your hair and then you can learn here. And it's like the stupidest thing I've ever heard of in my life. Apparently Azama doesn't like the glasses. What you gonna do? But I need more amber. Always gonna need more amber for a good while. Welcome to Fate's Paladin design there. I keep forgetting and then I keep on getting reminded.
I'm here for you.
My goodness. Wow, nice Miss Silas. Sick. You suck, man. No skills or anything, Hana? You have both Luna and Astra. And you're not proccing either. But yeah, there's a... Yeah, so that's a thing that happens somewhere. And in some places. You don't like having a ponytail, but it's because you feel it doesn't mesh with your facial hair. Not quite the right combination there. But not because it's the kind of thing that it's, like, not allowed for guys to have. Like I was under the interpretation that that was the case before I started putting my hair back in a ponytail. I was like, I have people suggesting that to me. I was like, I can't do that. Freaking, that goes against, like, social norms. And then eventually I got to a point where it's just like, why the hell do I care about, like, social norms? Why are those even norms in the first place? You know? Why should they be? I just realized I can probably put down another statue if I take down that freaking... that spot down there. I think I got rid of, like, one of my actual buildings to, like, put down another statue. I think. I don't remember. No, there's one more statue that I wanted to put down. And almost convinced, okay. This is why the education higher-ups are laughing stocks. Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of freaking wacky, not-so-good stuff that goes on in the education system when people have, messed up viewpoints and whatnot. Like, there was a health teacher I had once when I was in junior high school, where it's like, as long as somebody doesn't have, like, a specifically hateful religion, I'm not gonna care what kind of religion somebody has. As long as it's not, like, explicitly hateful or, like, trying to, like, be irksome to somebody else, like, spreading it as much as they can, or freaking believe in hateful stuff. As long as they're not doing anything like that, people should be able to believe whatever they want to believe. I had a freaking health teacher in junior high school that would, in just her regular, like, teaching stuff, kind of put into her sentences, like, talking about, like, bodies and stuff like that. She would be like, oh, yep, this is the way your body is because that's the exact way that God made you, because that's... and this was a public school. This was not a religious school. This was a public school. And she'd be like, yep, this is the way that biology is because that's the way that God designed things, and basically, like, preach, like, her own kind of thingamabob in a public school. And it's like, what the hell? And it was like, it was one of those units where it's like, you know, you can write notes to the teacher for, like, the teacher to see and whatnot. So I freaking... anybody that see me be, like, pissed off at somebody over the past few years of this channel knows that I take the time to, like, call them out for their bullshit. So, even young me did that. So, when I was in, I think this was, like, 8th grade, something like that, I freaking did an extended slip, like, in super small text that, so I could fit a whole bunch of text on the whole little slip of paper, and freaking, like, I try to do it in a way where it's just like, hey, this is a public school. Like, it's fine to believe whatever you want to believe, but, like, don't preach that in a public school where the environment is going to be one where everybody comes from, like, different backgrounds and has different beliefs, and that should be celebrated, that everybody has, like, their own different beliefs and yada yada, and not preach, like, your own thing. But what my thoughts behind it was, enough of your bullshit, shut the hell up, I guess, you know. I was pissed. But yeah, it's not the first health teacher I've seen do that, and that's really unfortunate. Like, at least, like, if it's in a religious school, it's like, okay, that's the curriculum and whatever the heck. But in a public school, where, like, the whole point of a public school is to be a public school, it's like, my goodness. Like, do you think that the freaking... You know how I say that I don't talk about politics a whole lot on this channel because I worry about offending somebody? Anyway, the next line that I'm about to say it just made me think about that. For people like that, like teachers in a public school that spread their that talk about their religion like it's fact to, you know, a diverse background of students in a public school. Do those kinds of teachers really believe that whoever they like pray to / worship would be proud of them for doing that? Anyway, that's my hot take. That's my hot take on that. But, you know, like if I was some freaking all-powerful being that like watched over the universe and stuff like that, and I saw people doing that, I'd be pissed as hell. I'd be pissed.
Hey.
But that's me.
See ya.
But yeah, and Lancer, when you have it down, you like it because it gives you that metalhead look, but when you put it in ponytail, it looks like you're about to have a strong opinion about children's cartoons. So, one of those kinds of looks, huh? Ever had those experiences yourself, but you know about one case where a guy reported a health teacher doing this and he was forced to flee the state over the backlash he got for doing the right... What the hell? That is so messed up. When it came to, like, the health teacher, like, there, it wasn't a public knowledge, like, it wasn't a common knowledge kind of thing around the classroom that was a thing that I called out, because I didn't, you know, blurt out in the class and call it out. I wrote on one of those freaking slips that you turn into the teacher for them to, like, privately see a thing. And, like, the teacher never mentioned it to me. But I could tell she hated me for, like, the rest of the semester. Like, she always gave me the evil eye. Oh no, it's time for the thing. Crap, I should not have walked in here. Well, time to freaking stare at this for a while, I guess. But yeah, that, like, I continued just, like, acting normally for, like, the whole rest of the class and whatnot, but I could tell for, like, the rest of the semester that that health teacher was being harsher on me and was always giving me, like, the stink eye for, like, the rest of the semester. She freaking hated me. Because I was like, hey, enough of your bullshit, I guess. Of course I didn't say that. Like, the note that I turned into her was, like, a very, you know, formal kind of thing where it's just like, hey, this is a public school with a very diverse background of people that come from like all kinds of different backgrounds and beliefs. So it's not fair to like preach what you specifically believe is fact in a school that's supposed to be all about accepting people that come from like all kinds of different backgrounds and beliefs. But yeah, you've never had an experience with teachers like that? You're lucky then. And I was probably lucky that I didn't get somebody who was like, you know, some of the awful situations that I hear about like on the news and whatnot, because there are some absolutely messed up situations with stuff like that. I'm lucky that I got a teacher that just freaking hated me and gave me the stink eye for the rest of the semester, and that was it, and it wasn't something like so much worse, you know, because it could have been so much worse. So maybe even I was lucky, but would have been even luckier to not deal with that in the first place. And Bugs Girl time freeze moment. Yep, that's that's what happens here, essentially. Super slow down. There we go. Well, yeah, whatever you freaking say, game. Who do I need to build up support with? The only kiddo that's here is Sophie, so we're inviting Sophie, I guess. But yeah, so that's stuff there. I love how the entire, like, discussion in this sitting, like, I love how the entire discussion here has been how I don't talk about politics a whole lot on stream, and then this entire session has just been, like, me talking about politics on stream. So there's that, I guess. But yeah, my opinion, freaking believe whatever you want to believe. As long as it's not hateful, as long as... Oh, I need to... No! Gosh darn it! Gosh darn it, freaking buildings. I don't want this, actually. Demolish it. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Believe whatever the heck you want to believe. If you're not freaking going out of your way to, like, spread it to other people, or do, like, hateful activities, or it's a belief that it is specifically a hateful one. As long as, like, none of those conditions are met, believe whatever the hell you want to believe. It's not like it's my concern. Like, if you're believing something that makes you happy, then great. I'm happy that you're, you know, into something that makes you happy, you know? Because I've mentioned earlier this stream that, like, I can get behind everybody doing things that make them happy as long as they're, you know, not harming others or themselves, you know? So, that's my stance there. But the moment somebody starts, like, stepping over that line, preaching what they believe as fact, especially in an environment where they're, like, a teacher around young kiddos that are still, like, developing and stuff like that, That's messed up. But that's my opinion there. That is my hot take there. Don't talk about controversial topics. Proceeds to talk about several controversial topics. Yeah. Yeah. One of these days, I'm going to say something on this channel that one specific person just hates. Heck, it could have been from earlier this session. Who knows? But one day I'm gonna say something like things I said earlier this stream that somebody is gonna absolutely hate, and they're just gonna be like, oh my goodness, time to try to ruin this guy's life however I can. One day it's gonna happen. But hopefully not today. I'm sure it will happen one day. Believe whatever religion you want, but you know deep in your heart that the best religion is dudism. Have we had the dudism discussion during Fire Emblem Fates? We probably have. Like, we have a lot of discussions during Fire Emblem Fates. I know that we've had the dudism talk during during stuff on this channel before. Probably during Fire Emblem Fates. Man, if I was told that I had to, like, yeah, it sounds familiar for something that we talked about during Fates. Like, if I probably mentioned during that part back then, like, if I had to choose to, like, identify myself with, like, any one religion, I'd probably say dudism first and foremost. Dudism? It's a religion that preaches non-preachiness, and it practices as little as possible, and it's a religion all about just taking it easy and going with the flow. Like, freaking, is there a higher power? Who knows? Who cares? Just take it easy. Go with the flow. That's what dudism is all about. It's hella chill. Just Google dudism. They have an official website, and, like, they have all kinds of fun activities and whatnot. They have, like, crosswords and, like, little games on their website as well. I think for, like, 30 bucks or something, you can get ordained as a dudist priest, and they send you, like, a certificate of ordination, as well as, like, things like bumper stickers and, like, stamps and stuff. And then you are, like, actually legally a priest, and you can, you know, do things like legally wed people, technically. It's certainly something, because, you know, that's that. I love dudism. If I had to like choose to, like, I'm not religious myself, but if I had to like choose to identify with any one religion, dudism would be my number one choice. My second would probably be Buddhism. Buddhism would probably be my second choice. And then I don't know if I'd have a third choice, but that would be like my number one and number two. Dudism and then Buddhism. But that would be that. But yeah, personally fond of Discordianism, a religion intentionally nonsensical and contradictory. And that's... I haven't heard of that one before, but that certainly sounds like one. No, you're registered in the Jedi religion. Oh yeah, I think I heard about that one once. That was like actually an official religion as well. The Jedi religion. Did as a joke, but yeah. I'm sure that there's like a lot of things that are officially religions that people start as jokes, and it's great. I love it. I love it. But yeah. Dudism, Buddhism, and Lunatism. Lunatism, that sounds like something that would be like a real thing that somebody made. I've never heard, I don't know if you're making that up on the spot, but that sounds like something that probably exists as like a... Do I really want to freaking Google this? Well, here's gonna be my freaking Google search history. Ludism. Is this Yep, there's ludists and ludism. Wait, maybe it's not a religion. Maybe it's not a religion. Ludism, apparently, according to Urban Dictionary, is basically just looting everything that exists, making porn about it. Okay, so I don't think it's an actual religion. Wait. Undertale, you know, ludism is a religion I've discovered. And what the heck, that's a cult family. What the hell, ludist, Urban Dictionary. Less derogatory term for a person who frequents lewd content, engages in lewd behavior. Otherwise has a stronger preference for, it's not letting me see the rest of the text because, oh, there we go, for the less prude things in life. Yeah, so it's just that, I guess. I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little bit disappointed it's not a, wait, maybe it's, sorry. Wait, Ludism home Facebook! Thomas had seen enough. It was time for him to leave. It was time for him to leave. Thomas had seen enough. Well, what have you returned to? Nothing. Nothing. Landry, did you actually create a massive rabbit hole? It's stopping there. It's stopping there. No more. No more of that. Let's, wait, we have another support conversation here to go through. Mitama's done with her freaking stuff, so she can get rid of that now. Probably get a steel sword at the ready for whenever you're ready to wield it. Gosh darn, do I need to forge you a steel thing as well? Gosh darn it, we're forging you a steel thing too. Keep running out of weapons.
Welcome, welcome.
My goodness. Let's see here. We'll do that, and that'll make a +2, I think. We can do that. We have another one in the convoy, so we can make like... Wait, is that a +4 that I... We'll figure it out.
Take your time.
We'll figure it out. Let's do some forging. Let's do some forging here. How about? I went way too far. What the hell am I doing? Yeah, let's make Mitama a good thing, because that seems very worth it. We're getting a system here. Whoops, gosh darn it. Right as I said we're getting a system. Right as I said that we're getting a system there. Right as I thought I was getting my rhythm going. Come on, get that rhythm going. There we go. There we go, the nice rhythm. I'll make the +2. Maybe we'll get another +4. Maybe I should just make like 2 +3s for now. Maybe. Because I mean, she won't even be able to use it for a while anyway. So just in case we get another situation like this, I'll leave another +3 in the convoy. Does Shiro still need one? I think Shiro has one, right? Yeah, Shiro has one. So we'll just have like a spare +3 in the convoy for now, I suppose, is what we'll do. We'll grab one of them +3s for now. Yeah, there we go. Bada bing, bada boom. And there's a spare, so we can always use that to make like a +4. And then, like, this is a much better situation now. Much better situation now. I'm feeling a lot better about Mitama's situation now. Same with Kaldori's, now that she can use iron weapons and whatnot. So now she can actually proc, you know, skills and crits when using swords and building up that experience. So that seems like a good plan, doesn't it? Let's see. Support. So Mitama can support with both of her parents, so let's do that real quick. Mitama, what are you doing? Cryptic memory. She leaves only threads behind for us to follow. I mean that to reclaim the past, we begin by seizing upon a single vivid memory. I also... Okay, I just looked over to make sure I didn't accidentally tap my microphone muting hotkey, because it's right next to my A button. A clue, which then reveals to us other memories. And we follow this thread of memories until the object of our search is found. This being the case, I am searching for my very first poem. It is here, somewhere. And what are you looking to find at the end of this particular thread? Before there was verse, Mitama existed not. Wherefore, Mitama? I wish to understand who I am. I was not myself until I learned poetry. If I find my earliest self, I find my current self. In the beginning, the end. Therefore, the search. Oh, I see. So you're looking for your first poem to find out why you started writing poems? Yes. How long till it's found? In a blizzard of poems. A single snowflake. It has been many days, but I am determined. I'd love to hear it when you find it. Is there anything I can do to help? Perhaps if you... Ah, wait! I may have found it. The Alpha of Mitama. Omega, my search. Does it say? Mother does not come. I count the days with chalk lines, but my chalk grows short. Mitama, that was your first poem? Yes, I remember now. You'd become very busy, and my caretakers told me you couldn't come to visit. I began writing poems to comfort myself while you were gone. Left waiting for you, my world turned inward to verse, structure to sorrow. I'm so sorry, Mitama. Can you ever forgive me? Don't apologize. You had a duty, a cause. The world needed you. I'm sorry. I didn't want to upset you. And I want you to know I understand. You fought to protect me. I know that now. Maybe. But maybe I could have done better by you. I don't know. Anyways, we still haven't figured out why you turned to poetry in particular. How about we write your caretakers? More clues to my past, hidden in old memories. The search continues. Yes, they are bound to know something. I will draft a letter immediately. Maybe I should write it, Mitama. I'm not sure they, appreciate your poetry to its fullest extent. Hello, Reggie Bump. Yep, welcome indeed. You kind of arrived right as we were wrapping up some of the wackiest talks that we've had. Trust me, you don't want to know. It's better this way. It's better this way. Oh, well, you're getting a little taste anyway. Lancer, so you're looking up the tenets of Discordianism to show how wild it is. And you found a quote that basically lets you know the kind of wacky shit you're getting into. After all, two fellows calling themselves Malachite the Younger, Omar Kiahum Ravenhurst, author the Principia Discordia, after being inspired, so they claim, by hallucinations in a bowling alley. Sounds pretty whack. Good morning, Mitama. You're finally awake, hmm? Good morning, Vietnam! How did you enjoy my lecture on the transitoriness of... I swear, Fire Emblem Fates keeps on teaching me new words. Transitoriness. What the hell? Can I get Google to, like, definitions? An impermanence that suggests the inevitability of ending or dying. Synonyms: transience, transiency. Huh. Well. Welp. Missed the Ludism talk. Well, that you missed for sleeping in, welp. How did you enjoy my lecture on the transitorious of all things this morning? I thought it was a fine piece of philosophy, though my wording still needs some work. So it was you then, you, the evil voice outside my tent this morning. I could still hear you even after I plugged my ears with wax. Do you know how frustrating it is to get wax out of your ears? The answer is very. It's very frustrating. Oh, come now. I thought your beloved poetry frequently concerned itself with such things. If anything, I'm helping to enrich your talents. I'm sure it would help me more if you waited until I was awake to deliver your wisdom. If I waited until you were awake, I don't think I'd ever be able to start. Besides, drowsiness can be a wonderful aid to learning. In a disordered state, the mind can more easily grasp the unfamiliar. This is such garbage. You make all of this dung up as you go along. Such poetry, such fine diction. My daughter is truly a literary prodigy. And how could you? I would never say anything I didn't absolutely believe. I just want the best for my daughter is all. And the question is why? You were hands off before now. Why change? Leave me be. Well, maybe it's because I was so hands off before. What? When you were small, I couldn't be with you very much. Didn't have the time to see to raising you properly, but I've come to realize that I put you through a great deal of loneliness. I believe I made a terrible mistake. I didn't think you were the type to care about that sort of thing. Well, yes, you're right, and I usually don't. But having a daughter does strange things to a man. So then this is why you have been waking me up at such hellish hours. I suppose so. We could have just talked, or you could have brought me tea, or a nice present, or bought me tea, whatever the hell. Literally anything would have been better than this. Oh, of course, I thought of all that, and we should treasure our time together. But as a father, I want more for you than just some fun memories. What do you mean? Well, this will sound funny coming from me, but I want my daughter to excel in life. I want her to dazzle everyone around her. My father is dead, and someone has replaced him. Please, someone, help me. Yes, I know, I'm a hypocrite. Well, since I'm up this early anyway, what should I be doing? Right, first things first. We're going to do drills to teach you to heal under pressure. Then we're going to spend an hour studying medical guides and anatomy. And after that, 2 hours of brisk exercise followed by chores. Then a 15-minute break for lunch, before some life coaching from yours truly. Oh, we still need to deal with your nutrition. I shall make you a diet plan. Well, on that note, I'll take my leave of you. I've got so much to prepare. Please continue to keep waking up early. Remember, 3 hours before dawn every day. So this is just the beginning. A chill in my heart. Outside, his wolf teeth gleam white. Inside, a black heart. Murder would be a mercy compared to such cruelty. What a terrifying man. But yeah, this is what just happened when the parents don't spend much time with their child. Azama being a decent person is weird to watch, but we refer to everything else he does. Yeah, I think that Azama's probably one of my favorite characters in this game. He's certainly a bit of a special snowflake, isn't he? Anyway, next chapter, how about, is what we'll finally do.